Sige, ma'am. Ayan, Prof. Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome sa ating continuation ng PAR Technology and Arson investigation. So now we are 185 and I'm sure you're very excited na to finish this discussion kasi ready na rin tayo for special crime investigation. Okay, so hindi ko na patatagalin. Let us start. Let me share my screen first. Okay, let me share my screen. Aha. So, malinaw na po bang nakikita yung screen ko? Okay. So, tapos na tayo last night regarding the kung ano yung elements ng arson. Now we are going to talk about the stages of the commission of the crime arson. So, what is frustrated arson? What is attempted arson? Or what is consummated arson? So, kung mapapansin natin, laging issue sa arson is kung merong frustrated stage. Yan lagi ang ewan ko ba kung sino-sino na mga nagsuntukan dahil lang dito sa question na to, kung may frustrated stage ba ang arson. So sasagutin natin siya ngayon, no? Papakita ko yung perspective nung dalawang kampo, no? Bakit ba nasabing may frustrated tsaka wala? Okay. So usually ang arson pare, attempted and consummated lang yan, no? Almost magagawa mo na yung crime kapag attempted. Consummated naman, nangyari na, no? Na-commit mo na yung crime. Okay? Parang sa ano lang yan, sa simpleng mga krimen, yun nga lang, itong si arson, sa totoo lang, wala siyang frustrated stage. Okay? Tingnan natin, no, paano natin napatunayan na walang frustrated stage ang arson. So as you can see, ilan sa mga nagde-debate kung merong frustrated o walang frustrated stage ang arson. Ito, sa mga San Beda College of Law, Justice Luis B. Reyes, sinasabi nila na merong frustrated stage. While no frustrated stage naman, para naman kay Attorney Leonor Buado, isang writer ng books in law, University of the Philippines Bar Operation 2008, Ateneo de Manila University Bar 2011 notes. So ilan to sa mga nagtatalo regarding sa frustrated arson. Okay. Tuloy natin, no? So first, yung nagsasabi na merong frustrated case or stage ang arson is si Regalado at ang San Beda College of Law Bar Notes. Okay? This is according to the jurisprudence of US versus Valdez. Lilinawin ko lang dito, no, na ang US versus Valdez na jurisprudence na ang sinasabi nila merong frustrated stage, okay? Yan, no, may frustrated arson nung panahon pa ng December 10, 1918. Okay? Malinaw panahon pa ng December 10, 1918. Okay? So, kung ganyan nakatagal yan, okay, may possibility na may mga dumaan pang bagong kaso at nagkaroon ng bagong changes dahil sa it's either nagbago ang Supreme Court ng desisyon, meron silang na-realize, ganyan yan eh. Meron silang change dun sa ruling. Kaya, so, ito yon. Ito yung pinipilit ng mga nagsasabi na merong frustrated stage. While, ilan naman sa hindi agree na may frustrated stage, therefore, dito naman kay Buado at sa Ateneo de Manila University, no, sinasabi nila na there is no frustrated stage in arson, only attempted and consummated. Sabi dito, the moment burning occurs, even if a small portion only, the offense is consummated. Yun nga lang, yung sinulat ni Sir Buado or Attorney Buado at Ateneo de Manila bar notes, walang jurisprudence na in-state. Okay? Kaya kadalasan nalilito yung mga tao. Okay? So linawin natin. So babalikan ko, no? Yung kaninang jurisprudence na US versus Valdez is December 10, 1918. Okay. And meron tayong July 5, 1996. People of the Philippines versus Edgar Gutierrez Cortez. Okay? Nilinaw dito na wala na pong frustrated stage ang arson. Okay? Crime arson is consummated in the mere act of setting a house afire, and the fact that fire may be extinguished before appreciable damage is done in no wise reduces the gravity of the offense. In short, kahit gaano ka liit yung sunog or apoy na nangyari, matik that is consummated. Halimbawa, nagsindi ka dyan ng posporo. Ngayon, doon sa nilagyan mo ng plant, di ba, kagabi pinag-usapan natin yan, yung plant, tracer, accelerant, nag-iwan ngayon doon sa sahig ng maliit na uling. Halimbawa, no, nangitim ngayon yung sahig dahil nagsunog ka. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihing frustrated yun kasi kahit na napakaliit lang nung apoy. Okay? Damir na nagkaroon ng apoy, nagkaroon ng ignition, di ba? Kagabi. Ignition, ano yan? Di ba? Yung initial stage ng fire, kahit hindi siya magpo-continue, no? Walang continuous chemical reaction, okay? Matik consummated. So, pagdating sa board exam, at ang binigay sa yung question ay situational. At minalinaw na sinabi doon na nasindihan na yung plant, okay? Or the timing device. Kunwari, nasindihan na yung mga damit na sinok sa gas. Matik that is consummated. Malinaw tayo Walang frustrated stage ang arson. Consummated lang according to this jurisprudence, People of the Philippines versus Cortez. Malinaw po? Yes or yes? Kayo magagawa? Yes or yes? Walang walang nagre-react. May kausap ba ako? Yun. Yes, ma'am. Kala ko wala akong kausap eh. Okay? Now, so these are some motives of arson. So mahalaga ba sa pag-prove ng arson case ang motive? Actually, hindi. Yung intent lang yung mahalaga. Actually, sa halos lahat naman ng crime, ganun eh. Yung mahalaga, ma-prove yung intent. Pero ang point ko dito sa motive, ito yung nagiging reason kadalasan bakit nauuwi sa arson. Okay? Ang purpose, bakit inaaral natin ang motive kahit hindi naman siya necessary to prove a case or a crime, ang purpose nito is lead. No? Lead kapag ikaw ay isang investigador. Okay? So motive is the moving cause which induces a person to commit a crime. Is motive necessary to prove a crime? Actually, no. It is not necessary. Ang mahalaga, yung intent. It is intent that is material. Yes po. Okay. So yun nga, sa gaya ng sinasabi ko kanina, yung intent, yung material in the element of arson. Okay? Ang motive, ang purpose lang niya is lead to identify the perpetrator. Okay? So let us discuss this for the continuation. Number 1, economic gain. Kagaya na napag-usapan natin last night. Okay? One of the reasons why people commit arson because of the economic gain through insurance fraud. Okay? Benefiting couple with location would transfer to another location. Be desire to dispose merchandise. Pag nalugi na sila, hindi nila alam saan nilalagay yung stocks nila, they will burn it, no? To lose the market value. Okay? Another is existing business transactions. Kunwari, nag-commit siya ng corruption. Ngayon, ayaw niyang makita sa liquidation ng papeles niya. Sinusunog nila. Okay? Para walang ebidensya. Okay? Profit by the perpetrator other than the assured. Also, insurance agents wishing business with the assured. Okay? Dahil yung mga insurance agent, pag kumikita yung kanilang client in an insurance, pati sila po. Okay? Sila rin nakikinabang. So, nagiging reason rin yan bakit nagko-commit ng arson. Business competitors planning to drive others, yung mga sabotage na tinatawag natin. Person seeking job as a protection personnel, such as security agencies. No? Susunugin yung lugar, tapos i-explain, baka gusto nyo po, i-hire kami as security guard dyan. Kasi kaya naming tulungan kayo for security purposes, wag masunog yung area, wag manakawan. Okay? Salvagers and contractors wishing to construct another building. To, in-example ko na rin to kagabi. Kapag trip yung lupa nyo, no? At pwede siya sa mga business, okay? Kadalasan sinusunog din yan para mabili yung lupa. Okay, concealment of the crime, also this is the one of the reasons why arson is committed, no, to hide a crime scene. Okay, punitive measures to inflict injury to another due to hatred, jealousy, or revenge. Nagselos, kaya sinunog yung bahay. Okay, may galit. Okay, public disturbance, lalo na kung gusto nyong mag-cause ng fear, no? Okay, may resort to arson. Vandalism, the general term denoting intentional burning to destroy properties. Intimidation or economic disabling, yung mga sabotage, strikers, okay? Pyromania, ito, it is the impulse, tingnan mo to ha, impulse of a person to burn anything without any motivation, no? May mental disability yung isang tao, no? Ang trip niya, nagiging masaya siya pag nakakita siya ng apoy. Okay, may iba't ibang klase ng pyromaniacs. Okay, pyromania yung sakit niya, pyromaniac yung tao. Okay, so first meron tayong tinatawag na abnormal youth, yung mga epileptics, imbeciles, and morons that may set fire without knowing the seriousness of the act. Okay, hindi nila alam na serious crime yung nakomit nila. Okay? As long as masaya lang silang nakakita ng apoy. Hero type, maganda yung sistema nila, no? Siya magsusunog, siya din magtatawag ng tulong para siya yung bida. Okay? Gusto niya yung superhero ang datingan for attracting the attention of the spectators. Okay? Alcoholic and drug addicts, okay? Sa sobrang high because of the stimulants and narcotics, minsan ang trip nila gumamit na ng incendiaries. So ito na naman tayo sa incendiaries, mga pailaw. Okay? At one example niyan is fire. Okay? Sexual deviates. Okay? Some sex perverts derive sexual stimulation from setting a fire. and watching the flame. Frequently is chronic masturbator. No? Biruin mo, yung mga sexual debates, dyan nila nararamdaman na sila ay nagkakaroon ng sexual gratification. Okay? Pag nakakita ng apoy. Okay, sabi dito ng classmate nyo, exempted ba na ang mga pyromaniac sa arson? If proven, no? Kasi meron tayong mga exempting circumstances kung maaalala natin, yung sa Dimaa. Pero, guys, mahabang process yan. Okay? It depends lagi kay judge. Kasi pag mga ganitong klaseng tanong, no? Walang karapatan ang isang kahit sinong teacher na magsabi, ay, exempted yan, ay, hindi, ano yan. Okay? Hindi pwede. Okay? May possibility, pare, na ma-exempted siya. Okay? Kung mapapatunayan talaga niya through psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, of course, meron tayong mga expert witness na tinatawag. Okay? Pero mahabang process yan. So the safe answer for that, there's a possibility. Yes, because this is a mental disability. Okay? So psychological dysfunction. Okay? Pero hindi yon absolute. Okay? Tuloy tayo. Extremist. Okay? Mga extremist naman may matanding ideology. Okay? For social, political, and religious cause. So yung mga kulang na lang, okay? Okay? Extremist fire setting may work in groups or individuals, also planning aspect of selection targets. Katulad ng mga extremists is yung mga terrorist or terrorism, no? Para mag-cause ng matinding fear sa public, gagamit ng apoy. Explosions, bombing, ba? Number one way ng mga terrorists para manakot sa public, ano ba? Ang sagot dyan, bombing. Number one yan. Yan ang pinaka-paborito nilang trip. Okay? Mag-bomb. Meron naman yung mga nagra-riot, civil disturbance, no? Mga nagra-rally na nauuwi sa riot, that is also extremist. Okay? Katulad nito, pare, yung tanong mo kanina, di ba? Sabi niya, ma'am, exempted ba pag pyromaniac ka? So one of the types of pyromaniac is extremist. So kung terrorist ka, hindi ka exempted na mag-commit ng arson. Okay? Hindi ka exempted. Walang, kahit na napakaganda ng ideology mo, sabihin natin na lagpas sa mundo, kung terrorist ka, hindi ka exempted. Okay? So again, that is not absolute exempted. It depends upon the situation, depends upon your evidence. Tuloy ako? Okay, in determining motives, a fire investigator concentrate on 3 major factors. Okay, just like what I've said last night, we are finding the point of origin of the fire. Kaya nga, isa sa mga prima facie evidence, pag ang fire simultaneous na nagsabay-sabay yan, na umapoy ang iyong bahay, building, o lugar, man yan, at one point, mali yun. Ibig sabihin, prima facie evidence ng fire. Okay? Points of origin, dyan nagsisimula kung saan nagsimula ang apoy. Okay? So, importance to point the established point of origin of fire. In other words, at a particular place in the building, the fire started. Also, gusto rin malaman natin dyan yung modus operandi of the arsonist. Okay? Para malaman din natin kung sino yung nag-commit. Okay? And identify the persons who might benefit from the fire. Okay, let us answer this question, madlang people. Place where the fire started. A, master bedroom. B, kitchen. C, point of entry. D, point of origin. Okay, the answer is letter. Okay, the answer is very good. Letter D. Point of origin. Bakit may sumagot ng B, kitchen? OMG. Sa kitchen nag-start. Paano pag hindi sa kitchen nag-start? Point of origin. Okay? Point of origin is also known as the low point. Okay, ha? Tandaan, point of origin, other term for that is low point. Okay, so ito na yung last part ng discussion natin sa fire. So after this, we're going to tackle special crime investigation. Okay? Okay. So, fire safety is the totality of undertakings, process, or system that ensures persons or property against effect of destructive fires. Actually, I already said this last night na lahat ng ginagawa ng efforts to suppress, okay, or to suppress, to extinguish fire, okay, that is fire safety. No, lahat ng ginagawa nila. Kaya ang tanda nyo dito yung term na totality. Lahat-lahat ng effort para mapigilan ng effect ng destructive fire. Any act that would remove or neutralize a fire is A, fire trap, B, fire hazard, C, abatement. Is the answer? Act that would remove, neutralize a fire hazard is fire trap, fire hazard, abatement. Gusto daw nating tanggalin yung fire hazard. Ang sagot? Pare, abatement yan. Ha? Tandaan. Fire trap, na-trap ka na nga, bakit i-remove pa yung fire hazard? So, X yan. Yan nga yung iniiwasan natin, kaya ini-inspect natin yung building, di ba? Fire hazard, yan yung issue din. No? So, hindi din ito. Dahil yan din yung iniiwasan natin kapag nagkakandak tayo ng inspection. Okay? What is abatement, ma'am? Ito na nga. Okay? An act that would remove or neutralize the fire hazard. Okay, sige, tuloy natin to para mas malinawan kayo. When we say fire trap, yung building unsafe, magkukos siya na possible kang matrap dyan in case na masunog yung lugar. There is no adequate exits or fire escapes. Diba kadalasan, yung mga schools, mga buildings, no, na walang sapat na fire exits, anong ginagawa ng fire department? Pinapasara yan. Okay? Kasi may mali, no? Hazardous yung lugar, fire trap. Building is unsafe in case of fire kasi wala siyang adequate exits. When we say fire hazard naman, pare, this is the condition or act that increases or may cause an increase in the probability of the occurrence of fire. Halimbawa, hindi magaganda, hindi maayos yung electrical circuit ng iyong bahay. Halimbawa, okay, that is a fire hazard. No? Ano pa? Wala kang bintana. So, possible yung wala kang ventilation. Fire hazard. Ano pa? No? Sa loob ng bahay, no? Doon ka nag-uuling. Halimbawa lang, no? Mga weird na gawain sa bahay. Doon ka nagsisindi ng kahoy, uling. Yung ginagawa mo, may probability na mag-occur ang fire. Okay? A condition or your act that will increase the probability of the occurrence of fire. Kaya nga, hazard. Ba? At ang abatement, okay? So, this is the act that would remove or neutralize a fire hazard. Halimbawa ng abatement, no? Tatanggalin mo ngayon, abatement. Halimbawa, possible nating gawin dyan. Ano ba yung mga pwedeng mag-remove or mag-neutralize ng fire hazard? After ng inspection, halimbawa, ikaw ay isang BFP officer, pumasok ka sa kwarto, sabihin mo, sir, pwede po bang dagdagan niya dito ng bintana? Kasi, squatter, lalo na yung mga kahoy. Yes, kasama yon sa mga fire hazard. Sasabihin mo, kulang po yung bintana nyo o kaya po maglagay kayo ng fire exit. Kulang po yung fire exit nyo. Okay? That is abatement. Pag dinagdag mo na yon, yung mga ni-require sa'yo ng inspector, that is abatement. Yung tinatanggal mo na lahat ng hazard na pwedeng mag-cause ng fire. That is abatement. Kaya ang term niya, act that would remove the cause or neutralize a fire hazard. Okay, malinaw tayo dito ha. Positive to, negative, negative. Okay? So, isa rin sa responsibility ni fire officer is to investigate. What is fire investigation? The process of determining the cause of fire. Why are we investigating fires? Number one, to determine the cause and also to prevent such fire to occur again. Okay, kahit na sabihin natin hindi yan arson, halimbawa, wala namang intent to cause the fire, okay, at least malaman natin kung bakit nangyari yung apoy, yung sunog. Okay, para malaman natin kung may hazard sa lugar. Okay, naiintindihan nyo? Hindi lagi pag sinabing fire investigation, matik, arson na yung issue. Iniimbestigahan yan kahit pa negligence lang yung nangyari. At least alam natin na next time, hindi na gagawin yun nung may-ari ng building or bahay na nasunog. Okay? So, if you are an investigator, these are the fire arson investigation team, the composition, and their responsibilities. Okay, the team leader, he assumes overall control of the fire scene. Siyempre, siya nga yung head. Team leader ang tawag natin. Si lead fire arson investigator, the second in command in this group that coordinates with the team leader regarding appropriate investigation approach. Okay? The fire scene photographer, parang sa crime scene photography lang yan, no? Ang responsibility naman niya is documentation, pipicturean niya, photograph, yung fire scene prior entry of the investigation team and during the walkthrough. Si sketch preparer naman, kahit sa crime scene na normal, no? Kahit hindi arson, meron tayong fire scene sketch preparer where he will make diagrams and illustrate the immediate area of the fire scene. Okay, si custodian naman, ang tawag naman natin sa kanya ay evidence recovery personnel and custodian. He will conduct an actual exhaustive search of probable pieces of evidence with direct guidance of the team leader, lead fire arson investigator at the fire scene. May first responder din po ba ang arson? Of course, pare. This will be considered as a crime scene din naman kasi crime din naman yung arson, pare. So, ang first responder, kung sino yung unang nakakita nung nangyari. Anong gagawin ng first responder? Tatawag sa fire department. Sir, may nangyayaring sunog dito. Nangyari siya ng 8 a.m. Kasalukuyan pong kulay white yung usok na nakikita ko. Meron pong mga tao dito, squatter area to. Magpadala po kayo ng at least 3 fire truck. Yun yung responsibility ng first responder. Okay? At tumulong, of course, to barricade the area. Di ba? Yan naman lagi yung responsibility ng first responder. Pero pagdating sa investigation team, ang may trabaho na nito, itong mga sinasabi ko. Okay? Investigation. Okay? Team security personnel ensures the overall security safety of the investigation team. O, tingnan mo to Doon sa bagong batas na sinasabi ko kagabi, si team security personnel, ito lang yung bibigyan ng baril. Okay? Sila lang yung i-issuean. Itong si team leader, lead fire, arson investigator, photographer, preparer, wala yung mga baril. Hindi sila bibigyan, hindi sila i-issuean. Only the team security personnel. Okay? Isa sa tinitingnan ng mga fire officer bago yan sila magkakandak ng investigation is the structural stability of the area. Okay? Before the search of hidden fires, the condition of the building in the area to be searched should be known. No? Kasi baka naman imbis na nag-iimbestiga sila ng lugar, mangyari sila pa yung maaksidente. Kaya dapat laging priority yung structural stability nung nasunog na building. So the intensity of fire during burning and the amount of water used in its control are the most important factors that affects the condition of the building. So ito na, yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga responsibilities ng mga fire officer natin. So ito yung tinatanong kanina, no? Si first responder, ang responsibility niya is to observe the fire in scene condition. Kaya nga, di ba, example ko kanina kagad sasabihin niya, Sir, 8 a.m. nag-start, kulay white na yung usok dito, wala masyadong ventilation yung lugar, magpadala kayo ng mga fire trucks, mga 3. Di ba? Kasi taga-observe siya nung nangyayari. Okay? Next, exercise scene safety, of course, papaiwas yung mga tao, ibabarricade yung lugar, preserve the fire scene, and establish the security and control. So, pwedeng tawagan niya na din yung barangay para tumulong na ihiwalay yung civilian dun sa mismong nasusunog na area. Okay? And coordinate interagencies activities. Okay. So, yun nga, he should observe, mentally note the following conditions. Ano yung mga tinitake note ng first responder? The present location and condition of the victim and witnesses. Vehicles leaving the scene, bystanders or unusual activities near the scene. Kasi kadalasan pare, yung kung arson yung nangyari, yung taong sumudong ng lugar, nandyan lang yan sa paligid. Hindi niya iiwanan yung kanyang crime scene. No? Nanunood yan. Kaya kadalasan, ninonote din kung sino yung nasa paligid. Of course, also, flame and smoke condition. Yan, kung black smoke na ba yan, white smoke na yan, para malaman natin kung may dangerous possibility na magbago yung fire. Movement ng fire. Type of occupancy and use of the structure. No, mga tao ba yan? Condition of surrounding scene, fire suppression technique use, and status of fire alarm, security alarms, and sprinklers, kung meron man. So dito, sa exercise the scene safety, matik na to. No? We must make sure that the victims and bystanders are safe. Evaluate the scene for safety hazards. Establish safety hazard zones. Communicate hazards to personnel arriving the scene. And use tools and personnel protective equipment appropriate to the task during all operations. Okay, preserve the fire scene. Matik na to, no? Yung ating mga rules, chain of custody, kailangan din sundin even in arson cases. Okay, the evidence collection and analysis and collection of evidence during the investigation, fire scene, the same rigorous preservation and anti-contamination methods is used. No? Just like in crime scene, kailangan ng protection and preservation of evidence. Kaya nga meron tayong photographer, meron tayong sketcher. Okay? Identify, guarding evidence, identifying and removing evidence. So, kasama din dyan yung marking of evidence. Tingnan natin paano mag-collect at mag-preserve ng mga evidence when it comes to arson cases. Pag solid yan, means of collection is sewing, cutting, or picking. The means of preservation is they will contain it to a sealable plastic container. Kapag liquid naman, such as yung mga gas, no? Ang ginagawa po ay siphoning by using droppers or they contain it into tube vials. Pag gas naman, they are using siphoning again by a dropper and they will contain it in a mounted jar sealed or plastic and rubber band. Okay? So, pwede naman kayo mag-screenshot. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Okay? So, also, it is important to find the area of origin o yung sinasabi natin kaninang point of origin. Okay. Useful technique, observation of direct of spread of flames. The fire then can be traced backward to its starting point and observable in fire pattern. Pag-uusapan natin dito yung mga fire pattern. Commonly, guys, normally, fire feeds in all directions, but at least likely path a fire will follows is A, upward, B, sideward, C, downward, D, outward laterally. Kadalasan daw ba, paano kumakalat ang apoy? Upward, sideward, downward, or outward? Ano kumakalat ng apoy? Upward, sideward, downward, outward. Okay, may sumagot ng upward, may sumagot ng downward. The answer is okay. Tingnan mo Ang tanong, guys, least likely. No, naloko ko kayo doon, 'di ba? Kanina, least likely. Ang upward, there's a possibility na ang apoy kumalat pataas. Yes. Sideward, may possibility ba? Yes. Okay, outward, laterally. Okay, may possibility bang kumalat ang apoy? Upward, outward, laterally? Yes. Imposibleng downward. Tingnan mo i-highlight ko na nga kanina Kaso dahil hindi nyo masyadong binasa, naloko ko kayo doon. Okay? So sabi dito, normally fire feeds in all directions but least likely. Diba? Least likely daw. Saan lang yung imposible na ang apoy ay kumalat? So the answer is C. Kaya tingnan mo, may tumama ata ditong isa natawa ako Wala. Okay? So ang answer ay downward. Imposible na ang apoy ay kakalat pababa. Laging pataas, no? Tingnan nyo, ang best example natin ay ang flame ng isang matchstick. Okay? Laging pataas yung apoy, di ba? Never yan pababa. Ano yan pag ganyan? Wala namang ganyang apoy, laging pataas. So, kung hahanapin natin yung point of origin, least the most common movement of fire is through V pattern. Tingnan mo to Santel mo, ma'am. Wala. Santel mo. Huwag yung santel mo. Iba yun. No? Yung ating origin of fire, tingnan mo. Most common, yung V burn. Okay? Or the V pattern. Wherein, may kita mo daw yung point of origin base doon sa dulo ng V. Katulad nito, yung picture natin dito sa baba. So you can see, dito nag-start yung fire. Ito yung origin, point of origin. At yung ating movement ng fire ay V. Papunta dito. Okay? Letter B yung nabuo. Okay? So this is a V pattern. Ito yung most common. Creating the V pattern. So kung saan yung V, yung dulo ng V, yan ang point of origin. Diyan nag-start yung apoy. Yung paddling naman It is the typical burn pattern resulting from the use of liquid accelerant. Kadalasan nakikita to kung saan binuhos yung accelerant. Diba kadalasan mag-iipon sila ng plant, ngari mga papel, karton. Ngayon bubuhusan ng gasolina. Yes, ang fire pattern depende din sa materyales na nasunog. Ang sinasabi lang dito guys, yung movement. So kung may V pattern tayo, kung susundin natin yung V pattern, matik, usual na movement yan ng fire. Therefore, kung hindi naman malakas yung wind during that time, this is the best way to find the point of origin. Kasi matik, makikita mo na malinaw yung V pattern. Pero kung malakas yung wind, humidity that time, alanganin. Kaya, pwede tayong pumunta sa paddling. No? Hanapin mo yung paddling where merong burn pattern resulting from the use of liquid accelerant. Katulad nito, mapapansin mo may paddling. Kasi, dyan binuhos yung gasolina. Diba? Pag accelerant, yan yung mga liquid na nakapag-speed up ng apoy. So, kung dito binuhos yung accelerant natin, dyan din kakapal yung sunog, yung typical burn pattern na sinasabi. Next, meron din tayong tinatawag na low or deep burning and multiple points of origin. Okay, this is the area where there is a deep charring that indicates the origin of fire. Okay, katulad nito, kung saan mo makikita yung makapal na area na malalim pagkakasunog, okay, kadalasan yun din po yung point of origin. Diyan yung pinanggalingan ng sunog. Okay, so these are the examples of fire alarm levels, no? Kung ilan ng fire trucks na nire-require or estimated fire trucks sa isang fire alarm level o kung ilan yung nasusunog na infrastructure. So, in first alarm, makikita natin dito, 2 to 3 houses, 4 fire trucks na yung nire-require. At ang assigned fire ground commander dyan ay si ship in charge or si team leader. Okay? Pag second alarm, 4 to 5 houses, 8 fire trucks. Ang iyong ground commander dyan ay si senior fire officer. Okay? Third alarm, 6 to 7 houses or high-rise building. 12 fire trucks. Ang iyong fire ground commander ay si city municipal fire marshal. Okay? And so on and so forth. Okay? Pag pag sinabi natin yung term na fire out, fire has been neutralized. So, kaya na po yung bahala na magkabisado nito. Okay? Kahit sabihin ko naman to, hindi naman natin to agad makakabisado, pero at least magkaroon kayo ng notes regarding the alarm levels. At kung ilan yung nire-require nating fire trucks in that specific situation. Tandaan lang natin, no? Sa general alarm, fire affecting the major part of the area na, most commonly, minimum of 80 fire trucks na yung nire-require dyan. Pag sobrang laki na nung sunog. Okay, paano mo matitrace ng investigator if ano ang pinagmulan ng sunog? Ma'am, magbabase ba sila sa pattern ng fire? Yes, ganito kasi, no? Yung pattern ng fire, yun yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina. Ito, no? This is the pattern of fire, yung indicator, no? V pattern, yung dulo, yung point of origin. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina. Si point of origin, yan yung pinanggalingan ng sunog. Okay, yan yung hinahanap ng investigator para malaman nila kung intentional o hindi yung nangyari. Diba? Kung babalikan lang natin. No? Kasi dyan yung malalaman, ano ba, simultaneous ba? Pag maraming point of origin, ibig sabihin, simultaneous yung sunog. Therefore, arson yun. Diba? Yun yung inaano natin kung sinadya ba yung sunog o hindi. No? Accident lang ba to or with intent? Dahil pag may intent yan, arson po. Okay? Kumbaga, no? How about the color of the smoke being involved, ma'am? Yes, of course. That is also tawag dito, part ng investigation. Guys, yung mga question nyo, kung involved ba yung color of the smoke, actually, I already discussed that last night. Lahat po yan involved in investigation. Color of the smoke, no? Yung point of origin, okay? Lahat yan tinitake into consideration. Even yung smell nung usok, no? Ma'am, paano malalaman kung intentional? Okay, I think I already discussed this last night. So, kung okay lang, i-ano natin to. Panoorin nyo na lang yung ating rewind. No? Alam ko, pinapanood naman yun sa inyo nila, Ma'am Ella. Okay, interview. So, also, interview first responding firefighters. Okay, kung investigator ka, interview the first responders or the first responding firefighters, fire victims, witnesses, and neighbors who can attest to some previous information for investigation purposes. And also, locate the lines of area. Ito, sinabi ko na to sa inyo kanina, yung area of demarcation. Area of demarcation, point of origin is the same also. Okay? So, hanapin nyo yan. Surface effects, the depth of charring, pattern of allegations, spilling, clean burn. Na-explain ko na rin yan. Penetration of horizontal surfaces. Okay? And lost materials, consumption of combustible materials and melting. Okay? May mga tinanggal bang important materials dyan para masabi natin intentional or accidental. Okay? Sinabi ko na yun last night din po. Next, identifying the victim. So, example, merong burned body dyan. Meron tayong tatlong paraan to identify the victim. No? Meron tayong visual identification or gross identification, dental records, and information discovered during the autopsy. Pag yung visual identification, ginagawa yan kung visible pa yung body, no? Nakikita pa yung itsura, yung muka. Visual identification lang. Pero for example, masyado nang burned yan, best way to identify the victim is through dental records. Okay? Information discovered during the autopsy. Okay? So, kung nakikita pa yung kanyang skin, no, possible na hanapan siya ng mga scar, tattoos, okay, surgical procedures, and other deformities. Pero tandaan, kung talagang sunog na yung katawan, no, dental records po. Okay? Sa body decomposition naman, kung pag-uusapan natin yung time in fire, okay, 680 Celsius, 10 minutes pa lang, sunog na yung arm mo. In 15 minutes, your legs will be charred. Okay? 15 minutes, face, arm, and bones are charred. 20 minutes, ribs and skull showing. 25 minutes, skin, bones showing. And in 35 minutes, all leg bones showing. Okay? So, let us talk about fire inspection na po. So, this is the critical view of installation conducted by authorized personnel of the fire department to determine the safety and hazard from fire and recommend necessary change if correction should be made. So, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, isa pang responsibility ng mga BFP officer, ang fire inspection. No? Nagkakandak sila ng inspection sa mga building, lalo na kung mga commercial establishment yan, para ma-assure natin na safe yan sa public. So the reasons conducting the inspection, ensure fire safety, prevention of fire, enforcement of fire code, and compliance of occupants of fire code. Sino ang may authority to conduct fire inspection? Of course, the BFP. They are mandated to enforce the fire code of the Philippines and conduct fire safety inspection in accordance to our fire code. The RA 9514, the Fire Code of the Philippines, enacted on December 19, 2008 and repealed the old fire code PD 1185. Ibig sabihin ng repealed, wala nang kwenta yung batas ng PD 1185. Totally, no? Na tinanggal na. At currently, ang ginagamit na natin, yung Fire Code of the Philippines na RA 9514. Okay? So, yan, repealed PD 1185, okay, revised Fire Code of the Philippines of 2008, approved December 19, 2008. So, what is the purpose of this code? Siyempre, bakit nagka-fire code? Para magkaroon tayo ng set of requirements in residential, commercial, and industrial building types. No, kumbaga, nagkaroon tayo ng general rule sa pagbuo ng mga establishments. Okay? These regulations are there to ensure the safety of the occupants for fire suppression, proper fire safety, storage and emergencies, preparedness, and other more. Diba? So, in short, ang purpose ng fire code, safety. No? Iwasan na mahirapan tayong mag-suppress, mag-extinguish ng fire in case na magkaroon man. So, it is the policy interpretation, it is the policy of the state to ensure public safety, promote economic development through prevention, suppression of all kinds of destructive fires, and promote professionalization of fire service as a profession. Okay, ang mga responsibilities ng fire officer, public safety, no? Pigilan ng damages caused by destructive fires, and also fire service to become fire service professionals. Kaya nga, nirequire na rin natin na ang mga BFP officer ay may baccalaureate degree. Okay? So ano ang coverage ng ang Fire Code of the Philippines? Say, IRR shall cover the person, building facilities or structures of their premises, system relative to fire protection, manufacturing of storage and handling or use, fire safety planning, warning equipment or system, all land transportation vehicles and equipments, and petroleum industry installations. Okay, ano ang requirement para ikaw ay matawag na fire safety inspector? If you are a uniformed personnel, okay, you shall be a licensed engineer, okay, is either a civil, electrical, mechanical, chemical, sanitary, or electronic with at least 1 year in BFP service. Kaya ang BFP, mabilis makapasok kapag engineer ka. Kasi nire-require nila ang mga inspector nila na at least ikaw ay isang engineer. Kung hindi ka naman engineer, pwede din mga architect, no? Isang BFP personnel na may 1 year in BFP service. Graduate ng architecture. Or shall be a graduate of baccalaureate degree course with at least 3 years in BFP service. Kung ikaw naman ay hindi engineer or architect, at least 3 years ka na sa service. For non-uniform personnel, di ba alam nyo naman na ang PNP, BJMP, or BFP, lahat po yan may NUP, mga non-uniform personnel. So, meron din silang hinahire na mga engineer na hindi sila officer, na mga NUP nga, pero at least they are appointed engineers with at least 1 year in BFP service and must have undergone a complete prescribed training on fire safety enforcement and other relevant fire safety training. Okay? Pwede ka maging fire inspector kahit NUP ka, Basta 1 year ka na sa service and you have undergone a proper training on fire safety enforcement. Kaya malinaw, pag non-uniform personnel, dapat engineer. Pag uniform personnel, pwedeng engineer, pwedeng architect, or graduate ng baccalaureate degree, basta matagal na sa serbisyo. Pag engineer, at least 1 year. Pag architect, 1 year. Pag baccalaureate degree holder, dapat at least 3 years. Huwag kayong malilito dyan. So, pwede bang maging fire safety inspector ang NUP? Ang sagot, yes. As long as he is an engineer with 1 year in service in BFP. Okay. So, if you are an inspector, this is the inspection procedure. Number 1, preparation for inspection. You should determine the need for inspection, the things to be inspected, gather the record materials, and secure a copy of fire code. So, lahat ng mga inspector dapat may dala-dala yung fire code kapag sila ay nagkakandak ng fire inspection. Number 2, knowledge on fire code and its relevant provision. O nga naman, kung magkakanda ka ng inspection tapos di mo alam yung fire code, alanganin yon, diba? Time requirement, plan the period of time to be consumed during inspection. And for inspection frequency naman, gaano kadalas mag-conduct ng inspection? Tingnan nyo mabuti ha. Ang inspection must be made twice a year. Okay? Yan yung general. In general, no? General rule, twice a year. Pero kung ang area matao, halimbawa, malls, hospitals, school, hotels, na masyadong maraming occupants, at least 4 times a year. Please take note of this. For inspection preliminaries, of course, you should procure a copy of inspection order. Hindi pwedeng magkakanda ka ng inspection ng walang inspection order. Review the past record of the installation such as the records, reports, and other inspection orders, notices, and suggest the inquiry of former inspectors in case of AOR is transferred to you. And, syempre, it matters din po yung pananamit. Okay? It requires kung ikaw ay BFP officer, naka-uniform. Kung NUP, dapat proper uniform, ay proper attire, naka-formal, and with ID. So, ano yung inspection order, ma'am? Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina, na nire-require sa isang fire inspector na dala-dala niya. So, halimbawa, merong inspection order, darating si fire inspector for fire inspection. So, in case na ang isang building pumasa sa inspection, bibigyan siya ng fire safety inspection certificate at occupancy permit para magtuloy-tuloy na yung kanyang business. Okay. In case naman na failed, ang ibibigay sa kanya ay notice of disapproval. Tandaan yan ha. Kapag pasado, 2 papilang bibigay. Fire safety inspection certificate at occupancy permit. Pag hindi, notice of disapproval. Okay? So, let us be reminded in the following terminologies. So, pag sinabi nating inspection ulit, this is the critical view of installation ng mga authorized personnel, yung mga sinabi ko kaninang tao na BFP personnel or NUP na engineer na dapat nagtatrabaho sa BFP, na i-check nila kung merong safety and hazard from fire. And he will recommend necessary changes if corrections should be made. Pag sinabi nating fire prevention, it pertains to the means employed to avoid. In short, wala pang sunog, no? Pinipigilan natin na magkasunog. Fire suppression, we are talking about extinguishment, pagpatay ng sunog. Di ba? Fire control, may sunog na, pero ang ginagawa natin, kino-contain or we are keeping the fire in minimum or manageable level. Kita mo kaya nga control yung term. And lastly, fire investigation is the determination of cause of fire. Determining the cause of fire, the process of determining the cause of fire. Kita niyo yung mga pagkakaiba-iba niya na inspection, critical view, no? Chine-check mo, ay, itong lugar ba pwedeng masunog? Prevention, ay, ayokong masunog, mag-ingat tayo. Suppression, ay, nasusunog, patay natin. Fire control, ay, nasusunog, sana hindi madama yung kapitbahay. And fire investigation, ay, nasunog, ano kayang nangyari? See? So that is the end of our discussion in fire technology and arson investigation. I hope you learned a lot in this topic. Okay? Nandyan pa ba kayo? May gusto bang linawin? Pwede na ba tayong mag-next? So bago ko i-continue, wait lang, kontakin ko lang si Ma'am Ella.